Athens, 3989 BC. The crowd gathers in the heart of the city, 500 jurors, hundreds more citizens. Dust rises, murmurs spread. At the center stands an old man, barefoot, his robe plain, his face weathered, but his gaze unyielding. His name is Socrates. In a few hours, he will die. But not by sword, not by exile, by poison. His only crime? Asking questions. This is not a story about philosophy. It's about courage, the courage to think when the world tells you not to. Athens, the jewel of the ancient world. A city of marble, art, democracy, the birthplace of ideas that would shape civilization itself. But beneath the brilliance lies unease. The Peloponnesian War ended in humiliation. Sparta's shadow looms over the once proud city. Its citizens are divided, its leaders paranoid. And then there's Socrates. He wanders the streets barefoot, stopping generals, craftsmen, poets, and politicians. He asks the same relentless questions. What is justice? What is virtue? What does it mean to live well? At first, people laugh. Then they grow uneasy. Because Socrates doesn't stop at one question. He keeps going, until their certainty collapses. Athens calls him a gadfly, a small, irritating insect that bites and won't go away. But to Socrates, that's exactly his role. He says the city is like a great noble horse, powerful but sluggish, and he is the sting meant to wake it. His method is simple. He pretends ignorance to expose ignorance. A politician claims to be wise. Socrates asks for proof. A poet boasts of divine inspiration. Socrates asks what his verses truly mean. Each time, the mighty stumble. The philosopher's words spread like wildfire. Young men follow him, fascinated. Among them, Plato, a prodigy who will later immortalize his teacher. But the elders grow resentful. The more he questions, the more they fear him. And fear, in a wounded democracy, can turn deadly. Rumors rise. Socrates is accused of corrupting the youth, of mocking the gods, of planting the seeds of rebellion. He refuses to flatter those in power. He refuses to praise generals. He even criticizes Athenian heroes like Alcibiades, who once betrayed the city. To his enemies, he is not a philosopher. He is a threat. Late one evening, Plato records his teacher's words.
I do not teach rebellion. I only teach people to think. And nothing frightens tyrants more than thought.
Soon after, the summons comes. Socrates is ordered to appear in court. His students beg him to flee, but he refuses. He will stand before the people and speak the truth. The crowd fills the court. 500 jurors, citizens on edge. The accusers, Miletus, Antice, and Lycon, step forward. They accuse Socrates of impiety, of corrupting the youth, of disrespecting the gods. Socrates listens silently. Then he rises. No fear in his voice, only calm.
Men of Athens, I'm not wise, but I have been told by the oracle that none is wiser than Socrates. I sought to prove her wrong. I questioned those who claimed to know and found they knew nothing.
The court murmurs. He continues,
You fear my words because they reveal your ignorance. You fear questions because they wake you from your sleep. But Athens needs its gadfly.
Someone shouts,
You mock the gods.
Socrates smiles.
I believe in the divine, but not as you do. Perhaps it is not the gods I disbelieve, but your certainty about them.
A silence falls. This is not a defense. It's an attack on illusion itself. When the time comes to propose his punishment, Socrates does something unimaginable. He says,
For my service to Athens, I should be rewarded, perhaps with free meals at the Prytaneum.
The crowd erupts. Outrage, laughter, anger. Moments later, the verdict, guilty. The sentence, death by hemlock. The prison is dimly lit. His students gather, Plato, Crito, and Apollodorus.
Master, the guard can be bribed. You can escape tonight.
Socrates offers a sad, gentle smile to his students.
If I fled now, would my teachings not flee with me? The law condemned me, not out of justice, but fear. Yet if I break the law, I make fear my master.
He spends the night in conversation, not about revenge, not about fear, but about the soul, the afterlife, and virtue. Plato weeps quietly, grief visible on his face. Socrates reaches to comfort Plato with a gentle touch.
Do not weep for me, my friend. To fear death is to think we know what we cannot know. And I have always claimed to know nothing.
Dawn light. Guard enters, holding a small wooden cup filled with milky liquid. The air is still. Socrates takes the wooden cup, offers a soft prayer, and drinks. Socrates walks slowly as the poison begins to take effect. He lies down on the simple bed, calm and composed. The poison rises slowly, numbing his body. His students break down, tears and quiet sobs. Socrates looks at his friends with a faint, almost amused expression.
Why such noise? Did I not tell you this would happen? Be still.
Then he speaks his final words.
Crito, we owe a rooster to Asclepius, the god of healing, a thank you offering for a cure.
The meaning is profound. For Socrates, death is not an end. It is a release, the final healing of the soul. Moments later, he grows silent. The last breath leaves his lips. And in that silence, a new age begins. His students carry his words to the world. Plato writes them into dialogues. Aristotle studied them. Generations later, they reach Rome, then the Renaissance, then us. Every time someone asks why, Socrates lives again. He left no books, no temples, no armies. But he left something far greater, a method. The belief that truth is not given, it is discovered. That knowledge begins with doubt, that to live without questioning is to live asleep. Socrates did not invent philosophy, he became it. Years later, Athens changes. The same city that condemned him now mourns him. They build statues in his honor. His accusers are shamed and exiled. Children learn his name. Because deep down the Athenians realize they didn't kill a man, they killed a mirror. Socrates forced them to look at themselves, and they couldn't bear what they saw. Over 2,000 years later, the question remains, can truth survive in a world that fears it? Every age has its Socrates. Every generation faces the same choice, comfort or truth. And the hemlock still waits, not in a cup, but in silence. Censorship, conformity. But as long as someone dares to ask, what is right? What is true? What is good? The spirit of Socrates endures. Socrates once said,
The unexamined life is not worth living.
He died to prove it. Athens silenced his voice, but gave birth to philosophy. He accepted death, but taught humanity how to live. He drank poison and became immortal. If this story made you think, don't forget to subscribe to 5 Minutes of Culture. Because sometimes, the greatest revolutions don't start with swords or empires. They start with a single question.